Welcome back to Joe's Son of Boxing. Frank Warren has, I guess you'd say, added to his heavyweight arsenal by signing the Ukrainian heavyweight Vladyslav Sirenko. And Warren already has a lot of heavyweights that some of them may not be that young. I mean, Tyson Fury is probably the jewel in his crown. We'll see after the rematch with Usyk whether he's going to maintain any kind of status. He might retire after that fight. And he's got, Daniel Dubois, who's fighting AJ, and he's got Moses Atama at the other end of the scale, who's the, tremendous prospect. Zhilei Zhang still in the mix if you want to go back up to the middle-aged guys. But there's no doubt that Sirenko definitely adds to this roster of heavyweights that Warren has compiled. And most importantly, of course, or not most importantly, but interestingly and importantly, he's not a British heavyweight. He's Ukrainian. He's 6'4". He's got a 21-0 record with 18 wins by TKO. He's 29 years old. And I mean, if you look at breakdown his record, you're basically talking about a guy whose best names probably are going to be, he had back-to-back wins in 2021 against Alexander Ustinov, who was way past his best and got knocked out in a round. And that was over in Paris, actually. And then the same year, Andrei Rudenko, he was stopped in 6 rounds. That was in Ukraine, over in Ukraine. But his last 2 fights have been against journeymen over in the US. So he kind of is testing the waters in the US. At 29, he's still young for a heavyweight. He's a guy who, he's ready to be stepped up, let's put it that way. 21-0, 18 KOs. He can obviously bang a little bit at a certain level anyway. And it'll be interesting to see what Warren does with him, because Warren he's getting an awful lot of sweets in the bag, the heavyweight bag now. But he seems to be investing in what you might call, maybe not the next generation, but certainly the current generation. You can call Joe Joyce, Zhang, possibly Fury. They're kind of on the way out. Joyce has had lost 3 of his last 4. Lost to the ancient Derek Chisora. So what is he now, 38? Not a lot of time left for him probably. And what are you going to do with him? He's pretty much considered damaged goods. Although, as Derek Chisora has proved, I think he also signed with Warren again, didn't he? He's ancient, but, he's proved that you can come back. If Joyce wants to do that, I suppose he could carry on. Zhang at 40, limited time. Fury looks like he's past his best at 36. So a 29-year-old is an absolute babe, a little kid. And I think this is a very good signing for Warren. Now, with Atama, who's being brought along sensibly, you can definitely say that Moses Atama, I know there's talk of him trying to break Mike Tyson's record, but I've made a video saying that I don't really care about that. I think he should be brought along as the first Moses Atama, not as the next Mike Tyson. And it takes as long as it takes. And I would like to see him go down the traditional path of British, Commonwealth, European, and then world. I don't think he'll be fighting any of Warren's other heavyweights soon. Maybe a Joe Joyce. There has been talk about him fighting Joe Joyce, Chisora. I don't know, maybe, but further down the line, maybe in 4 years' time, a Sirenko versus Atama fight wouldn't be out of the question. Maybe if Frank wants to sort of make a fight between Sirenko and, say, Zhang, maybe, or Joyce even. I mean, the point is he's got options. And we've kind of conceded that in America there aren't that many heavyweights who are going to create a splash. Jared Anderson just got knocked out by Martin Bakole. I mean, Bakole versus who? Who would you put Bakole in with next? Would you put him in with one of Warren's heavyweights? I mean, this is intriguing because, it's another heavyweight signed to a British promoter. So if you're from the UK like I am, it makes it slightly more interesting. But but ultimately we want to see good matchups. And I wonder if Vladyslav Sirenko will get a place on one of these Riyadh cards, because Frank, as we know, is very, very close to Turki Al-Sheikh, and there's a possibility that Sirenko could end up on one of those cards. Like I say, his last two fights were in the US, but they were low level, not, journeyman fights. And he's been around the houses a bit. He's obviously fought in Ukraine an awful lot. He's fought in Germany. He's fought in France. I think he fought in South Africa at one point earlier on in his career, 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. So this guy's travelled, and there is a lot to be said for travelling, even if you're fighting lower level guys. It's good that you can get the experience of travelling, fighting under different lights, and in different cities, and it's all experience. And as we always say, there is no substitute for life experience. In fact, Sirenko, I forgot to mention, is currently based in the USA, in New York. So, yeah, he probably speaks a bit of English, I'd imagine, which is good for the older promotional side of things. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Frank does with him. I wouldn't like to, I've speculated, but I wouldn't like to really guess at what's next for him. But it'll be very intriguing, because a big heavyweight puncher, a guy with good skills, and if you've seen Sirenko fight, you'll know he's got good skills, as you would expect from a decent level Ukrainian, good amateur background and so on. I think we'll see something from this guy, and I'm looking forward to it. So have you seen Sirenko fight? If so, please leave your comments. How good do you think he is or could be if you've seen him fight? Who would you match him with next? Who would you like to see, ideally, if you could wave that magic wand? And, the boxing fucking varies, the boxing Harry Potter. I'll put him in with boom, boom, boom. You name the names. Fill in those blanks. All right? Anyway, thanks a lot. I always appreciate your time. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. That'll help us out. And also hit the like button as well. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. This is your channel as much as mine. Thank you very much. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.